is the greatest Intercontinental Champion besides yourself? If you were to pick
There
a
were so
runner-up,
many. I'm not the greatest. Hell.
well, you had the longest reign, and everybody remembers it.
They can do that with anyone if they want, I guess. See, you internet people, you think because I said that, you believed it, didn't you? I said it so much you actually believed it. No, he's not the greatest, the most horrible Intercontinental Champion. I hate him. I hate him. I was so glad, but God, I didn't want the Warrior to beat you. Anybody but the Warrior. Warrior was great, and tragically, he's gone. And I had a good time with him. It was a struggle, but I like helping people. I like teaching, and I helped him along a lot, and he was grateful for it, and I'm glad he did. He was successful. I wasn't around him for his all his big success and everything, but he was always really, really nice to me, and in any way he could be, because I gave him good, solid, professional and financial, personal advice that he listened to, and it worked out for him.
Why aren't you in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Well, that's not a call that I make. That's something they do.
People have said on the internet that you rejected the offer. Is that true?
Well, I didn't reject it as saying no, I'm not going. Let's don't parse the words now. I was contracted to do Wizard World, the Comic Cons. They're called Wizard World. And they were using a lot of us back then. And I had like 12 shows contracted with those guys before they got in bed with WWE 3-4 years later, which now they won't use us because they only use talent. So they canned us. Maybe I should have went to the Hall of Fame and never mentioned Wizard World. I'd still be working with them. Who knows? And they called me. And I always wondered about this, and I still do. Why do you wait so late to call a guy? Get him on board early. I told you I saw Euchre this year, but I saw Bob last year. I did one inning of radio with him last year. And I asked Bob, I said, Bob, when you did that Hall of Fame thing, when did they let you know? He said, oh gosh, it had to be like October. October. They called me 3 weeks before the WrestleMania, before the Hall of Fame. 3 weeks.
This was 2 years ago, or?
Oh. No, it was before Houston. It was Phoenix.
Oh, the Phoenix.
I would have went in with Bob in Phoenix. Bob had told me he signs very, very few autographs. He signed me an autograph photo. He said, see you in the Hall of Fame. Laugh out loud. It was like, yeah. Because we had a little running joke that neither one of us would go in without the other. Because I've been going over doing the baseball thing for them for like 10 years. And we'd try to go when Bob was there. So we could reminisce and get on radio and have fun, because sometimes spring training games are kind of boring. And it was our little running thing that we wouldn't go in without each other. But then the other day I said, you stabbed me in the back. He said, what do you mean? I said, you went in that Hall of Fame and we had a thing. We were supposed to go together. He said, yeah, but I thought you were going. They did call you. I said, yeah, but they called me way too late. But they called him in like October. Now, why would they call Bob in October? Because they wanted to make sure they got Bob Euchre in October and got him confirmed. And a lot of other people. 3 weeks out, I got 12 dates of Wizard World. And that's what I told them. And they said, well, Wizard would understand if you canceled your contract with them. I said, would you understand if I canceled your contract? They had no answer for that, but I put, and at that point in time, and this story's well documented, at that point in time, they had a 90-day no-compete clause, which means you could not work in the pro wrestling industry for 90 days.
Even if you were inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, you go in the Hall of Fame for the next 90 days, you could not do anything in pro wrestling. That has now been taken care of, and that clause is now out of the contract. They let guys come and do WrestleCon. The weekend that they leave WrestleCon, they run over and do fan access. And okay, I went to Toronto, and I made twice the amount of money that was offered for the Hall of Fame. And I was in Toronto for 2 days. The Hall of Fame takes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days. I did more Wizard Worlds and finished out my contracts with them. And I didn't have to take 90 days off and not work. Why, if you're going into a baseball or a football or a basketball Hall of Fame, would you say 90 days you can't work anywhere? Come on. Give me a break. Well, if you're going to pay me 90 days worth of pay, then sure, I won't work. So that's, if it comes around again.
Would you accept the Hall of Fame if they were to?
I'm open for negotiations. Everything's negotiable. Ask Hogan when he found out how much Stallone got to come and do a 3-minute speech.
For his own induction. He was inducting him.
Sometimes a person who gives the speech, the 3-minute speech, I don't know. The pay scale's always been a little bit different with WWE. And, but yeah.
Does it bother you to see a lot of these celebrities inducted in the Hall of Fame?
No. It's entertainment. I mean, a guy like Bob Uecker, he deserves it. Donald Trump, he's been part of WrestleManias. He deserves to be in our Hall of Fame in our celebrity side over there. Pete Rose, sure. I mean, is it like a thumb in the eye of the baseball for us to put him into wrestling? Of course, but that's what we do. We're professional wrestling, and everybody spits on us and shits on us and hates us. But hey, we do good things. We bring entertainment to millions of people every Monday night, and gosh, 85,000 people, a stadium record every year at every stadium for WrestleMania, pay-per-view record for sales for people. How can you knock this business? How can you say it's bad or it's corny or it's a joke or anything? This is huge. Huge, as Donald would say. No, I don't have a problem with celebrities. I think it's fine.
What is your favorite match of all time?
Oh, of course, winning the Intercontinental Championship, because I was catapulted from, mid-card status to main event, and I moved up from mid-card money to main event money. And obviously you do this for money. You don't do it because you just love getting the shit kicked out of you every night or flying on an airplane for 5 hours and all those things that go with traveling and being away from your family and never get to see your son play t-ball or see your daughter play, softball or be at Easter or be at home for Thanksgiving. You give all that away, not because you're selfish for yourself. I never did this after I got married and had children. Once I got married, it wasn't for self anymore. It became for a better quality of life for my wife and children. And that's the only reason I continue to do it, to give them a better quality of life than what I had. And Sure, I wanted to retire. I moved to Phoenix 24 years ago to retire. My daughter's in veterinarian school. Eric Sims and I were just talking before we went on air. When she finishes, it's $350,000. I'll never complain about a doctor bill anymore. Never. I understand it now. I'm back out here on the road doing the one-man comedy, doing interviews with you guys. I said I'm not going to do these shoot interviews anymore, which this has been a good one. It hasn't been one of these negative, pound them, beat your chest and rattle your swords and, try to stir up trouble. Hogan was right. I stirred the pot. I kept the pot going. And I mentioned it earlier, but I got this white part in my hair that I started doing about a year ago. And it's kind of recreated me. People look at me now. I did a TV sports show in Ottawa. When I was up there doing my comedy show, and the next day in the airport, 5 people said, "Hey, you were that guy on the sports show." They didn't know I was a wrestler. They just said, "You were that guy on the sports show." I said, "How did you know that?" They said, "Because of that little white part in your hair." So it's a total recreation. And I think you have to evolve. Our business has evolved, and you have to go along with it. A lot of people thought I was disgruntled, old, hated everything about it. I love this business. It's the greatest business in the world. It's the only business I've ever been in that I've wanted to stay in. And I never want it to stop. I want the business to be great. Whether it's great for WWE or it's great for TNA or it's great for me, I want it to be good. Because if it's good, I'm going to get a trickle down somewhere.
Last question. Where can fans watch your one-man shows or follow you?
Gosh, the best way is I post them on a Twitter all the time, official HTM on Twitter, and of course I'm on the Facebook. Wikipedia is the best place to find out stuff. I went on Wikipedia and I edited some of the stuff so that it is true. So what you read about me on Wikipedia is true. I don't like those real life feuds that I've had. Real life feud, a feud is like, I don't know. Hogan, you mentioned Hogan earlier. I got to see him. I stopped in his store. I said, pull the car over, I'm going in. And they said, are you sure, man? You just can't barge in there. So I'm going in. And I went in, and it was like old times. We've been together. I've known Huck since we all started together. And I just did a segment for Beefcake's book that's going to be coming out about Beefcake. I've known these guys for over almost 40 years now. I got no problems with anybody. You listen, Bundy, I got no problem with you. You know that. You're a sweetheart of a guy.
Folks, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I just hope it clears up some of this nonsense that I've heard for years.